Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. Man, we do not have an Idahoan with us today, but you are going to be very pleased with who we have today. This guy is Brian Hanson. I got to have the pleasure of seeing this guy talk in Atlanta, Georgia last year. I was blown away with the stuff that he was presenting. He's like the AI just master over here. He knows pretty much everything there is to know about AI, especially when it comes to business and how it can generate income, how it can make you more efficient, and how it can just drive you forward in business. So welcome, Brian. Glad you're on our show today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
And I can't say I've ever been to Idaho, but I got to get there someday. I'm originally from Iowa, so, I haven't always been in Florida. Been down here since 2000, so I consider myself a Floridian at this point. But incidentally, I'm heading up to Iowa in June to see my family.
All right. Well, you probably have a lot of Idahoans retiring in Florida over there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Iowans too.
There you go. Yep. Well, good. Well, Brian, let's talk a little bit about this with business. Or AI. Let's back up. How did you get interest in AI? This hasn't been around for many years at this point, but how did this generate interest in you?
That's a great question. So just by heart, I've always been in love with the marketing side of business. I learned at an early age how marketing worked, the mechanics behind it. I was in my early 20s, and one of my first jobs was working for a gentleman who's a really big guy in the information marketing world. Had TV stuff and all that kind of things going on. And I got to look at different people that he looked up to. So he was constantly paying to get trained by like Dan Kennedy. So I got to go to Dan Kennedy's house and learn right in his own house, Gary Halbert. And so these guys really indoctrinated me into the world of the marketing side. And I realized once you possess that skill and you understand how to market really well, you can do any kind of business. Like most of the stuff that I've really had a lot of success with, I created a multi-million-dollar auto parts company selling engines and transmissions. I became one of the largest in the US, and I don't know anything about auto parts. I don't know how to change my own oil. I get it. I know you unscrew the cap at the bottom and stuff. I've just never done it.
Wow.
And, I became one of the biggest Instagram agencies for shout outs. When I started it, I had maybe 5 posts and didn't know how Instagram worked. Pretty much everything that I've gone into, it was just, I saw a need and I became a master at it because I understood the mechanics of marketing. And, I guess there is some AI components to it, but just kind of a quick tip, because we are talking about AI today, but I'll go off script for a minute. I would use tools like SEMrush.com as one of them. I can go into a niche and find out every single thing about that market and actually know more than the people that have been doing it for the last 20 years. So especially with AI now, because I can really get the customer avatar drilled in. A lot of people don't spend enough time really trying to understand their customer and how they think. They get it and they understand a lot about them, but they don't dive really, really deep into all the things that keep them up at night, all their wants and needs and what makes them tick. And I create a customer persona now with AI. But even back years ago when I was doing all this stuff, tools like SEMrush, which I've used for many, many years now, I could get their AdWords campaign, their SEO keywords, the ads that they've been running, how long they've been running them for. So I know if they've been bidding a certain amount of money on stuff and running the same ads for 2 years, something must be working right, but I basically get their entire marketing campaign handed over on a silver platter. If they're running like more, complex media, there's stuff like Adplexity and things that gave me more, but I would go in and I would take all the competitors and I would see every single thing that they're doing with marketing. If it's on the internet, I knew about it. And then I would set up alerts where, like, even just as simple as Google alerts, where anytime they breathed online, whether they blog posted or posted anything up, I found out about it right away. So I was just like tracking everybody and seeing what they were doing and hopping in. And so I guess where I'm going with that is I've been a loopholes guy my entire life. If I can find a way to make it easier, I'm in. And when AI came out, I mean, honestly, even to today, I just can't believe it. It seems almost surreal that we have these tools now. And, for me, when I look back to when I started all this stuff, I always kicked myself, man, I wish I would have got in, sooner. With the .com boom, I still had over 300 websites. I was massively into SEO. I still have over 100 sites. But I always kicked myself, like if I could have got that domain, or if I could have started before everybody started posting, and I didn't want that to happen with AI. I'm going all in on this thing. I see this is way bigger than the .com stuff. It really is. Like, it's not perfect yet. So there's a lot of things that it's getting better. But there's a lot of things that it does really, really well. And the automations are just insane. I think the big hiccup that a lot of people have is they haven't gone down the rabbit hole far enough to realize what's out there. They think of AI, they think of ChatGPT. I can make a blog post or an email, which you can, but they really don't know how deep that rabbit hole goes, which is good and bad. So like, that's the thing. There's two sides of the coin. One, most business owners don't understand how amazing AI is. And it's not their fault. They haven't been exposed to it yet. But then there's the other side of it where they get exposed to it, but they just start trying to learn everything, and you never will. You'll like literally exhaust yourself because it is amazing and fun, but like you'll just get buried. And so that's the other side of AI and I'm going to start the call by just saying this because it's probably the most important thing above all. Don't go into AI trying to learn AI. I do, but this is my world now. I own AIforbusiness.com. I live, breathe, and eat this stuff. I literally like wake up at 3 a.m. to start working on AI again. I'm very passionate about it. But for most business owners, the key to this stuff, it's really the same key that it's always been. It's just with AI, you're using AI to do it. But you want to look at what in your business needs to improve. What is the biggest thing in your business that if you fix that, it would 10x your business and send you to another level? And that's the way you need to think of AI. Because if your question is, can AI do it? The answer is probably yes. Some things maybe it's not great at yet. Some things it's like overwhelmingly awesome at. But like start there and make it like a kind of a priority list of what would be the most helpful to fix in your business, and do it that way. And then you'll be on a good track to make AI literally just help you crush 2024. Because if you go in it the other way and you're trying to figure out what AI can do for your business, it can do almost everything if it's done online. Like it's absolutely insane, but you're just going to get swimming in this stuff, overwhelmed, and probably even give up just because you won't even know where to start. So kind of went on a long rant for that question. Yeah. That's my thing is loopholes. That's what brought me here today. I saw AI as a way to really get things done at lightning speed that I've never seen possible before. And again, I still can't believe this stuff exists.
That's incredible. As you're talking, I was just thinking of all the different things in my life that I'm like, man, I could probably do this. I could probably do that better. I could probably do this better. This app that's been a pain in our side to get developed, and this development company that's been, kicking our butts. I could probably incorporate AI to develop the rest of it, So yeah, my mind's spinning already, Brian. So, well, cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if like you mentioned like a site, I mean, that's the incredible part about this stuff is, and again, it's just going to keep getting better, but you can build a website in 60 seconds. That astonishingly, it looks just as good as somebody you would pay a few $1,000s to. There's different ones out there. I think I probably showed you Mixo. It's mix.io. Since then, because it's been a while since we saw each other, I've really gravitated towards a website called ZipWP. And the reason why I like it, so I kind of want to explain it because there is a reason I prefer it. One, it creates a full-blown site with the blog, about us, funnel, like everything done. Takes about 60 seconds. You answer a couple questions, pick a couple pictures you like, and it's built. But I like it because it builds it for WordPress and it puts it on the Astra theme. And Astra is not just the most popular WordPress theme, but it's also the best theme for SEO because it's lightweight and super speed fast. So if you want to get into SEO and you get organic rankings for your company, ZipWP is a great way to do it because you can build the site for free, by the way. I didn't mention that it doesn't even cost you anything, but it links up to WordPress, which is, in my opinion, probably one of the better platforms to build on. I've been using, over 100 of my websites are on that, on WordPress. Then I link that up to couple that. I link ZipWP up with a tool called Cuppa. It's CUPPA.sh. And Cuppa creates all of the content for the site with the pictures and everything with me just pushing a button. And then Cuppa automatically integrates into WordPress, where when all the stuff's written, I hit publish and it goes directly onto the site without me taking that content and putting it on there. It does it automatically. There are some barriers. It depends on your server. Mine's about 552 articles, but I'll create about 500 articles in a day and I push a button and it uploads all of them. And I know you guys are kind of local, some of you, to the Idaho business side of things. So one of the things that I've told some of my students is, just because you're local doesn't mean you have to think local. So for instance, if I were to build a site for my business in Idaho, and then I start, wanting to put up content, I'll probably pick a domain that can go national. So instead of saying like Idaho plumber or whatever, I'm going to pick, plumberpros.com, and I'm going to make a page for every single city in the United States for plumbers. And when I do, after I get those made, which Cuppa can do with a click of a button, so I can create a page for plumbers for every single city in the United States, I'm going to use a tool called Link Whisperer. And Link Whisperer will actually, you tell it what page on your website's the most important. In my case, it's going to be the Idaho one or whatever city it is there. And it'll push all the power from all those pages it built to the city in Idaho where you have your business and push it to the top of Google, because all the pages on your website have power. And so you push it all to one page and it boosts it up to the top. Then the other pages, I would use a company called LeadSmart, and LeadSmart will pay you per phone call that comes in on all the other cities. So you're making money off of all the other leads that come in. And while it usually takes a long time to rank a new site, it's a little easier when you're taking a bunch of pages and pushing that power to the page that you want to the top. So, just in a nutshell, that's a little SEO plan.
That's incredible.
Talk about a website. I can almost go off on any direction when we talk about AI, because it's just, that's the magic of it, is it can do so many different things. I find that probably one of the most used things with AI for a use case is probably chatbots. Okay. The reason is because that's a hard thing to do, like setting appointments for your business. And putting humans on it's great, but at the same time, somebody's got to manage those people, and then that becomes another job. And then trying to make sure that they're making all the calls that they're supposed to make and answering all the people that start asking questions back. I've found that there is voice AI that can make calls and take calls. There's a little lag time, and I like it, and it actually does have a purpose, but I'm not too focused on that. I think that it could grow a little better. There's Air AI and all the different stuff out there. But on the chatbot side, I actually feel like it talks better than the real people that we put in the chats. So I've even had I have a full-blown sales team And we've tried to put them in like DMs on social media and, just texting and stuff. And they did okay, but it's a very repetitive job that nobody really wants to do it. But also, like, people that really know what they're doing in sales generally aren't really great at writing stuff either, like writing out these like really skilled like text messages. And the bots are so on point that you really can't tell if you're using the right kind that it's not a human. So we laugh in our conversations, like we'll have people literally falling in love with the bot. Like we had somebody asking the bot if it could come over and give him a massage, and he's asking him out to Red Lobster and sending pictures of his dog. And they're having these but the bot knows to stay on point and keep it business, but it's just so friendly that they start to like hit on the bot, which is crazy.
Wow.
And I'm sure there's bots out there, like there's some that, are just very robotic, but if you get the right one and it's hooked up to Claude Opus or ChatGPT 4, it thinks so well that a human can't outperform it. The other thing that I love about like bots for setting appointments and doing like that kind of chat is you can have thousands of conversations happening at the same time and be on point with every one of them. So even if you wanted to outsource to the Philippines and have people handling your DMs and all that stuff, it's still going to cost you a fortune to do it that way compared to a chatbot. Because here's the other beauty of AI is it's cheap. This stuff isn't expensive. This kind of technology 10 years ago would have cost you, 10,000 plus a month. Where this stuff, I mean, like the one I told you about for building a site, they don't even charge. But like $50 a month is pretty high for AI. It's or at least standard. ChatGPT, Claude, all the Perplexity, all the top tools that I use are only around $20 a month. And what they can deliver to you in return is insane. But yeah, I mean, having a bot that can handle calls on point like that thinks so well that you can't even tell it's not a human. And in our case, it was like much better than the people we were actually hiring, even in the United States. It's a dream, It can technically close the sales for you. And I have a lot of friends that use it for that, and we work with a lot of real estate investors. So it could technically set up the call, close the deal and negotiate on the house and send out a DocuSign and have it signed and do the whole transaction. I just personally, because I've been doing this a while now, I feel like you should use it to set. Like, your business, how to close it, how to represent yourself. While it can close the deal, I feel like just for now, at least while you're getting used to AI, the best way to handle it is to have it tee that stuff up for you. Just get rid of the tire kickers so you can focus on the high level. Mm-hmm. Think about if every single time you talk to a prospect, it was like a shooting fish in a barrel. Like nobody was ever upset. Nobody was kicking tires. Like they were all just lined up and ready to kick them down. And, that's what it's like taking appointments from these, because you train the bot on what objectives you want to meet. So we'll tell the bot, like, I'm not going to even get on the call unless you hit these objectives, and it'll go through every one and it'll bounce back and forth depending upon how the call's going, but it won't give you anybody that didn't hit the objectives you needed met. So yeah, I feel like that's probably one of the better areas most business owners would see helping their business is starting out with a chatbot and tuning it into your business. And just so everybody knows, because maybe you don't, chatbots can work on email, social media, and text. So we personally use CloseBot, which we could white label. We basically set up in our agency, we'll set up chatbots with a CRM and all the follow-up sequences and all that kind of stuff for people, but we don't hide that as CloseBot. I've built chatbots. I've tested some. I've had white label stuff. CloseBot has so far for us sounded the best out of all of them. I want to say it's like $50 a month for you.
That's amazing. So CloseBot will pretty much work for any CRM system out there. Is that your?
Most of them. It works the best with Go High Level, which is what we use.
I just signed up for that.
Yeah, Go High Level is the best. That's how we set everybody up when we do it in our agency. Here's the cool thing. So if you're a coach or like you have a business where you have students or whatever, you can white label Go High Level, which is the crazy thing with Go High Level. I don't know what it is, maybe $200 a month or something that you pay, or maybe a little more for agency, but nobody costs anything to add them. So your margins are 100%. Then you add in CloseBot, which you can also white label. You can have your own little ecosphere of like a bot system. You know, if you're not thinking about that, what I would recommend is build it for yourself. Here's the best thing about offering stuff like that. If you're going to offer AI, find the biggest need in your company. I said it in the beginning. That's the biggest aha of AI is like, what do you need? What's broken? Fix it with AI and then go sell it to other people. Because if there's somebody in your business, it's a very likely thing that they're having the same kind of problems that you are. And if you're still having a problem and you've been in business for 5-10 years now, there's a likelihood that there's not a good solution for it until you just built it. And so you're feeling a need that all the other business owners that do what you do need. And it's a really easy thing for you to fulfill. It's cheap and people are willing to spend a lot to fix those things. I wouldn't necessarily sell the AI to them. AI is cheap. They'll get too caught up in the price instead of fixing the solution. I would fix the problem that they're having. So, you know, whatever they're having a problem with, you're selling the solution to the problem, where you could go in and, you know, easily charge $2,500 with a monthly residual on that.
That's fantastic, Brian. I know I could go on for hours with you, and we're going to have you for another episode for sure, because this is just too good to keep on not going on. So, but for sure, next time maybe we have a few demo of some of the key ones we were talking about. That would be awesome. So, but no, Brian, if we could, as we get into closing here, go into a quick lightning round we like to go into here. We forgot to mention one of our sponsors is Health West. These guys are a great medical group across Idaho. Those people that are looking for some medical assistance, Google where they're at closest to you, find what they can do for you and your family. And our lightning round is sponsored by one of our businesses, New Clean Commercial Cleaning. Excuse me. If you can need any of your toilet scrubbing needs or your disinfecting needs, give us a call, 208-254-7070, and we will offer your first sterilization for free. So just by telling us that you heard about us on the podcast. So Brian, with this lightning round, we like the 3 different questions we like to end with. And you probably already answered it with this one, but is there a favorite book, tool, or software that you've used recently that's just been a huge game changer for you?
Yeah, I'll name. How about I give you a few? So, like some of the top tools that I'm using right now, I use Perplexity for research. They're backed by Bezos, I believe. Perplexity is amazing for any kind of research. I don't use Google anymore. ChatGPT 4, I use for a lot of stuff. And again, that's probably a whole nother thing. But if you think ChatGPT is just creating blogs and emails, you haven't used it enough. It can look at pictures and tell you how to fix something. It can create applications. You can create your own app in less than 5 minutes with ChatGPT. You can get your keyword campaigns for Google, your negative keywords. You can find your customer avatar. Like, we could go on for a 2-3 hour class easily on ChatGPT. It's so deep where you can go into that. Claude Opus is probably even more powerful right now for other things. And, you know, CloseBot is definitely great with Go High Level. I'd say just for business owners, a prospecting tool that you might really enjoy is called HeyReach. If you use LinkedIn, HeyReach will go out and scrub. If your prospects are a business owner, it'll go out and find them on LinkedIn for you and automatically send messages and tee the stuff up for you while you're sleeping. What makes it a little bit unique over other tools is HeyReach allows you to stack accounts. So like the problem with LinkedIn is hardly anybody goes on it on a daily basis. So you can only send, safely, I usually just do about 50 a day per account or so. But that's not a lot when people aren't. So it's a slow burn. You have to wait for them to log in and see it. That could be 6 months from now. With HeyReach, you can target those same people with the messages, but stack multiple LinkedIn accounts. So you can have your business partners, your wife, everybody on there. Now you're sending 50 each, and you can wind up sending, like 1,000 messages a day. So you can really start to get those leads coming in automatically. And there's just so many tools out there. One thing that it's one of my favorites. I've talked about it a lot. You might have heard me talk about it too, but I love the website AppSumo. And it's been around for years. Most people have heard about it, but the difference is AI came along. So if you haven't been on there for a while, here's why AppSumo is great, because I'll leave you a couple tips with it. Everything's a 60-day money back guarantee. So if you see something on there where you're like, man, this is going to crush it for my company, but maybe you ended up being wrong, or it's just too much. You're like, this is way too hard for me to do. You just say, I want a refund inside of the dashboard, and it's instantly refunded to you. So it doesn't cost anything. The other thing is it's almost all lifetime deals, because they're looking for seed capital or just like an injection into the company if maybe they are old, but a lot of them are new companies. And so like HeyReach, for example, you can't get it on there now. I got it on AppSumo. I spent like $500, and that's the highest tier, by the way. Most of them start at $50 on there. But now I can send 10,000 messages a day on LinkedIn to anybody I want for the rest of my life, and I never pay a dime for it. And so it's just really cool to get technology. And again, if it doesn't help your business, it doesn't cost you anything. So those would probably be a few to end with. Again, I can hop on here and we can go into a lot of different stuff, because it's a very deep space.
For sure it is. Sure it is. Man, I love it. Okay, next one real quick here. Biggest myth business owners need to know the truth about.
I would say that AI is like a flash in the pan or a gimmick, or it's going away. This really has nothing to do with business, but if you don't know what's going on behind the scenes right now, AI is going to make a shift from AI to AGI. And what that means is like AI does something very specific, a task. And that's why it's not perfect all the time. Like, for instance, writing sales copy, you might have to go back and tweak it a little bit because it knows what it is. It just doesn't understand what good sales copy is and bad sales copy sometimes, because on the internet, everybody's saying this is good copy when it's not. So you need to be a human to actually think and understand, like, I think they're full of it kind of thing. And sometimes the bot can't do that. At an AGI level, it will think at or greater than a human. And that should, Musk thinks it's going to happen by the end of the year. And he actually has an AI, XAI. And some people don't know that he was one of the founders of OpenAI, ChatGPT, because he left that company. But he knows a few things about this stuff. I think he mentioned by 2030, maybe it's not even that long, it'll be smarter than every human population combined. Like right now, just with his, what's it called? Neuralink, he literally has somebody controlling a computer screen with their brain. That's successfully done. The kid, he's like younger. I shouldn't say kid, but he's a younger guy, and he's like, I feel like I'm using the Force, like Star Wars. He's like controlling stuff with his brain. We're there right now. China has like helicopters coming to pick people up with no pilot, driven by AI, and dropping them off like at the Jetsons. Like, we have restaurants in California now where the whole entire restaurant is managed by AI. It's making the burgers, it's taking the money. There's no employees. It's one of my speakers at my last event. He found cancer in an MRI that wouldn't have been found, but he used AI to do it. Like it's going to grow so big and take you guys by surprise if you haven't watched, that you're going to wake up one day and wish that you would have done this. So like, I encourage you to like just start to be aware, because it is happening behind the scenes right now. All the biggest companies, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Jeff Bezos or Musk or and NVIDIA, or all of them are invested heavily, and their main focus is AI. which will go to AGI. And AGI is where it is a little scary because the machines are going to be definitely way smarter than us, and who knows. But to add on to that, one other thing, like, this is kind of crazy to think, but Elon's not like a dumb guy, by any means. No. He thinks that there's going to be a universal high income where people don't have to work because there's just not going to be anything left to do. That's how powerful AI is. So it isn't like the .com boom or anything we've seen before. This is it. Like, if you're not latching onto this, and again, it's not all perfect yet, but it will be. And if you're on the forefront of it, you already implement it into the business. Like, let's say it's even like you set up as something as simple as the bot, but it just like, maybe it doesn't say stuff quite right with something. All of those things that you build upgrade with the platforms. So when ChatGPT goes to 5, which is going to happen this year, all of a sudden you got the most powerful bot ever in your industry because it was already ready. I don't know if you've been following ChatGPT 5, but there's tools like Sora where you're creating like movie level videos by writing some words. Like, it's you can't distinguish that it's not real people in the video. Right now we have a lot of pictures, but they're moving into video. And that's another thing. It's going to take the movies and all the actors. That's why they're pushing back so much on AI, because they can see it's going to replace them at some point.
Of course.
Anyway, not going anywhere. Yeah, no. Stay aware.
Well, this is a good call to action for us business owners to be like, all right, me included. Before this episode, I was literally confessing to Brian that I have not been taking advantage like I should have been. After listening to him, when was that in Atlanta? That was probably last August.
Yeah.
It's I'm sad to say I haven't done much. So now I've got to kick my butt into gear and say, all right, especially now that I've got Go High Level operating, it's time to get some chat bots going and get some good things rolling. So
anything you guys do online, it's super doubtful that it can't be done with AI. We have a newsletter, AIforbusiness.com.
Yeah.
And right now I was telling Spencer before the call, we are creating an AI that's going to take all the trending news and write it. It's actually already done. We're just putting it in a format that you click a button. Right now it's, we got all the prompts ready. There's tools like Task Magic where, say you do something manually on your computer and you have to keep putting it on a spreadsheet or whatever. It'll track everything you did on your computer and create an app for it all automatically. So you do like tedious tasks like that. You'll be surprised at what can actually be done, because it is about everything.
That is amazing. Well, you heard it from him, guys. If you're interested to learn more from him, go to AIforbusiness.com. He also has the AI for Business on Facebook page as well. You can follow him there. Correct, Brian?
Yep.
It's the best place to find you there. But I don't have to say much more. You've listened to him. You know how much he knows. This guy can definitely help you as you follow him and receive his newsletter and see what else he can do for you. So again, Brian, thank you for being on our show. Incredible what we've been able to learn today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure hopping on with you guys.
So again, we always like to end our show telling everyone, life's too short. Try to find opportunities to be happy, be grateful, and find opportunities to serve others. So again, thanks, Brian, and we'll see everyone later.
See everybody. Thank you.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.